What's next?
No, I didn't know what you wanted.
Okay.
I didn't know what we had.
All right, that's fine. Eat too much junk anyway.
Are you in the shot here? You in?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hopefully I put water underneath that thing to keep the sucker down. So, says here we've got 3 people, but no one's chatting yet. So see hello whoever's out there. Talk to us. Does that look a little foggy?
It does. You know, maybe wipe the
No,
camera.
I think what it is it's the light from outside's coming in. It's changing the light in the room. If I close the blind.
Still looks a little foggy.
Does it? Give it a little wipe.
Yeah, actually, it's a little better. Doesn't stop sticking your
Okay,
fingers on that.
people are, well, whatever. Catherine's here. Hi, Catherine. And Virginia's here. Hi, Virginia. And Chris is here. Hi, Chris. Linaire is here. I said, you look cold. No, but I've got one. What are you doing?
I'm adjusting my stool.
Have you got yourself planted now? Are you sure? Okay.
He was sitting downstairs. It's cooler
Yeah.
downstairs.
Catherine says prepping dinner as I listen, and Phyllis is here. Hi, Phyllis. And she's got a nasty cold too. Yeah, and we're about to leave for Australia. Now I have a cold as well, although I've got a lot of drugs in me right now because the one thing I don't want to be doing... What's going on with my chair?
I don't know.
Why do I look higher than you?
Because
There.
see, that's why I
Okay.
lifted it up so that I didn't look so low.
Yeah. Anyways, I have a cold. Must have picked it up from last weekend's retreat. And...
I feel like I might be getting a cold, but I
yeah,
don't
well,
know.
last couple of days I've been coughing up a storm, but right now I've got Otrivin and daytime night Tylenol in me, and of course a little champagne always helps. And what's that look all about?
What, me?
You're making a rude look.
I'm always making a rude. I'm thinking.
Oh, does it hurt? Okay. Yeah, Phyllis says nights are a bear. Yeah, actually, I find the night's not so bad, but then I've got enough drugs in me that I don't care. And that may be what I'm going to have to do when we get on the plane tomorrow, too, as well. So, hi, Brenda. She's here. And, okay, so let's get started. Now I feel like I'm sitting too low. Oh, well, whatever. And don't mind me if I keep reaching for Kleenex because this postnasal drip thing is driving me nuts. Laura says, and you are flying all day tomorrow? Oh, yes. Well...
Well, no, kind of all night.
Yeah, well, we get the car's coming to pick us up to take us to the airport at 2:30. Our flight goes out at what, 7? 7.
I'd like to be there really early,
Yeah.
just in case.
And then we fly to Vancouver, and what's that, 4.5 hours?
I think it's closer to 5.
Is it that far? And then we've got, what, a 2.5 hour wait?
2.5 hour wait over, and then
we
get on 14 and a half hours straight to Brisbane.
to Brisbane. Yeah. So all total, it's going to take
It's like
us
21, 22 hours.
Yeah, if you count in the layover kind of a thing. Thanks, Linaire. Chris says, bring the cold meds with you. We can't get the good stuff without a doctor's prescription. Yeah, I've got them with me. And thanks, Chris, for sending me all that stuff this morning. You woke me up when you did it.
We can't get any good stuff unless there's a doctor's prescription. Too.
Yeah, if you're talking codeine. But anyways,
Or antibiotics.
now I'm starting to cough again. I did take stuff. I may have to blow my nose frequently, people. Sorry about that. Anyways, Chris, what I was going to say, I'm kind of joking about it because with you being in Australia, when you sent me that stuff, my cell phone sits on my charger right next to my bed on my night table, and at 7:15 this morning, it went off like I was getting a message. I was awake anyways. I'm usually awake before 7 or so. I usually get out of bed before 7, but this morning I didn't feel like getting up at that point, but then I saw it was your messages, so I had to wait until I did get out of bed to answer you back. But thanks for all that information. And if people are wondering what we're talking about, Chris lives about, an hour and a half from Brisbane, And she sent me all kinds of stuff about things we should see and do, and some things about quilt shops. That's great. Actually, a couple of those trips that you mentioned, Walter's already booked them. They were on his list of things. What's that? Grumpy cat face?
No,
You're sitting there go whatever.
I'm thinking.
Oh, okay.
I've been packing, so
Oh yeah,
I'm finished, kind of.
yeah. It takes him days to pack, and you only started today. It doesn't take me that long.
No, I just have to, check, make sure I got my socks and all that.
And all your drugs. Holy shit, he's like a walking drugstore.
I've got the sunscreen, so I got all of that.
Ooh.
I've got a bottle of other stuff, and then I've got yeah, and then I
Then your meds.
no, yeah, then I have to have stuff that stops me from pooping and stuff that makes me poop if I'm not pooping.
Okay, that's yeah. Sometimes he doesn't give a shit. Sometimes he gives too much. Yeah.
My erratic
Yeah.
system.
Hi, Andy. And so yeah, it's erratic system. But anyways, we'll talk a little bit more about Australia in a moment. But let's look at what I usually start with: an update on my mother. Just got off the phone from her. She's fine. Nothing really too much. And, well, we'll be gone for 3.5 weeks, so my sister...
Look who's talking. You got to have like 10 tons of your makeup and everything then.
This just doesn't happen naturally. I tell you this, okay? I need my foundation. It's simple as that. I don't wear foundation. What do you mean? It's not tons. I take toothpaste.
Make sure you have the aftershave bottle. Make sure you have the aftershave bottle labeled correctly or whatever.
Oh, just because I drank it once. I take everything in little bottles, and I put the little bottles so they won't leak in little plastic bags. And I put those little plastic bags of bottles in a bigger plastic bag. And then I put the bigger plastic bag into a cube that I have that goes in my suitcase. Because things tend to blow up when they're in an airplane for some reason. So I do it this way. And what he's talking about is I have little bottles, and I was labeling them, but sometimes the labels come off. And what was it? I had mouthwash.
You had mouthwash that's a sort of a blue-green color, and you had, was it aftershave or no?
It's my electric shave.
In a blue, that's a blue-green color, and so you took a swig of the electric shave by accident.
Yeah, well, it's certainly. I don't recommend it for mouthwash. Okay, but that's nothing. What was the stuff that one time I put some cream or something, and it was. Oh, wasn't it your cortisone cream or something, or you had, and I thought it was my moisture. No, I brushed my teeth with it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Jeez. Well, I've heard of people brushing their teeth with Vagisil. So
well, it does sort of look like a toothpaste.
Well, it didn't taste like it, though, believe me, that time. Well, anyways. Prissy saying, I never get notifications. Damn it. I think there's something going on with YouTube. Because I'm not getting notifications on some of the things I subscribe to. And I've gone in, I've checked, and it says my bell is checked, and I should get all notifications. So I think YouTube's screwing around again. Also, YouTube is screwing around with the way we as creators edit our videos. The things like, when you see at the end the little subscribe button and, a playlist of videos and things like that, iCards, if those come up. They've got a new system. And it is slow as heck getting into it. And it's confusing as well, the way it's all laid out. Doesn't look anything like the original one, and it doesn't seem to work as well. So once again, rapid development, which means they never test anything. They just get it out there and away they go. Which is probably one reason why those airplanes that airplane in, where was it? Ethiopia crashed. Because of that.
Well, yeah, like I had lunch with a couple of people I used to work with, and we all were in software development. And they said Boeing announced that they're going to have a software update to the Max or the Max 8 soon. And we're both looking at each other thinking, we both said to each other, I wouldn't be getting on one of those too soon after a software update, because knowing how they develop software these days, there can be lots of problems with them.
And he knows because he was in software development.
Well, I think what Boeing didn't do, which was, and they seem to admit to it, is that normally when you have software and you develop software, if you want to make sure it's working correctly, is you have to do something called negative testing, which is means that you throw you try and do all the scenarios that wouldn't happen in real life or whatever to it, and to try to get it to break. And what they didn't do, I don't think, was have the scenario that actually occurred on the airline where sensors weren't working properly. And they didn't test how that software would react in that situation.
Yeah, so luckily we are flying a 737, but an old 737,
Well,
not
that's
one of
in
the Max.
Australia. That's not where getting to Australia.
Oh, I thought we were.
No.
Oh,
We have
okay.
we're on a 777
Oh,
to get to Vancouver, and then we are on a 787 Dreamliner.
oh, okay, whatever.
Still Boeing though.
Yeah, still Boeing. But most of them are made by Boeing, aren't they?
Well,
It's
that.
the largest manufacturer of aircraft
Well,
in
yeah,
the world,
that
isn't
or
it?
Airbus.
Yeah. So, anyways, hopefully we get there okay with no problems. I'm a little bit dreading how he set up our seats this time, because he sits us in the middle section that has 3 seats in it, and he puts us both on an aisle. So we're going to have somebody probably sitting between us. And be my luck, it's going to be someone that weighs well over 400 pounds and should be paying for the whole row, not just one seat. And I'll
And
be
so far that seat's not occupied.
yeah, so far, but I don't trust that there'll be the last minute thing will get on there. And then there'll probably a person who decides they're going to sleep and drool and put their head on my shoulder.
Yeah, but what difference does that make on the way I originally had set up seats? Normally we're on
Because
an
if I
aisle.
fall asleep and start to drool, I'll have my head on your shoulder.
Normally
and
you're
used to
sitting
it.
next to a stranger anyway. So what difference does it make?
I don't know, your logic. Whatever.
It would, now we'll just be sitting next to the same stranger.
Am I the only one really missing this?
Well, no, I was reading that if you want to try and improve your chances of getting an empty seat next to you, you book your seats at the back of the boat, and you put
Back of the boat.
and you do the configuration that I
Okay.
did.
Well, we'll see how this theory works out. That would be great if we don't have anybody in the middle seat, because that would be fine for me. Because, there's not a lot of room on these planes, and people are not
And
small.
we're in economy, so.
Yeah, we're in economy, so there'll be some guy with an old tin cup and putting his finger on a record player, making it go around for entertainment. I don't know. Hi, Julie. So anyways, what I hate about flying the most on any trip that gets me antsy is the bloody airport. In Toronto, you never know what's happening. You go to the Air Canada thing. They're usually in the same section, but they have all these kiosks, and it's Russian roulette on the...
You have to go to the kiosk to. They have this modern new thing, self-serve system, where you go to the kiosk and you print your boarding pass yourself, and you print your luggage tag yourself, and you attach your luggage tag yourself on your bag, right? And then you go to this automated drop-off thing that's supposed to read your bag, but it's half the time it doesn't. And then, but last time we went on, for some reason your passport
It wouldn't read my passport for some reason. So we still ended up going into a line. Mind you, it was very short. And going up there, and she goes, slap, slap, bump, bump, there you go. And put our bags
And
on
then she
this.
ripped off my luggage tag, which I already affixed.
Yeah.
And she goes, oh, well, that won't do. And then she
Made a new one.
and made a new one. And I thought, well, if I'm putting it on wrong in the first place, why in the world do you have this stupid automated system that half the people can't use? So
Well, let's talk about how you put the luggage tag on, because you get this long strip of paper, and it's got numbers on it. Like number 1, number 2,
why has your luggage
number 3.
receipt on there? Too?
Yeah, I know. But you're supposed to follow the numbers. Now it says peel this here, but it doesn't to what? And you're looking at it and you're going,
It doesn't, it's not very
I
self-explanatory.
mean, I think the first time that I ever did it, I peeled the whole damn thing off, and it was only a little piece of it you're supposed to peel off. And then there's, of course, your receipt,
Well,
and you got to bit that
And
off.
then a lot of people put it on the top of their luggage, but then no, actually what they want it on is on the side handle because of the way the readers were.
Yeah, well, anyways, that time when I put mine through the automatic one, it
wouldn't read.
it wouldn't read it whatever way the suitcase went. And finally, somebody did come over and give us a hand. That's the other thing. Usually you can't find anybody. When you're not using those machines, there's 3 of them standing there waiting to help people. When we get up to the bloody machine, they've disappeared. It's like, oh, it's them again. Let's hide. Like, kind of a deal. So all this automation, I don't know if it's that great. But anyways, we'll get there. But that's what I hate about airports to start with. And Toronto's one of the worst for it. Apparently, it's one of the best in the world.
Well, it's not one of the best in the world. It's one of the better ones.
It's one of the better ones. Yeah, well, I hate to see the worst.
I think it's number 10 on the list or something.
Well, I hate to see number 11 then. Or whatever, and 12 and 13. The rest of them. But anyways, we'll get there one way or the other. And so we lose a day because we fly out on Monday, but it'll be Wednesday. What time do we arrive on Wednesday?
7 in the morning.
Their time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then we have to get to the hotel. And
then they'll probably pack our luggage up and we'll have to walk around.
And we'll have to walk around, and at that point, we'll both be like exhausted. I did debate whether to take some Nitol with me, so you get some sleep. But in the combination of the other drugs,
I have some of those Tylenol blue pills. Those ones.
What, the organics?
No, the organics.
I thought there was some organic ones you had.
No, the
Oh, then I guess I'm mistaken it for
Tylenol
asparagus.
blue cold remedy thing. You know, the nighttime ones.
Yeah.
That has the same stuff in it as the sleep aid things.
Well, I've got some of those with me too.
You can't take gummies with us this time.
I know we can't take gummies. He's meaning our special gummies, the ones that help me sleep, the ones with the little bit of Mary Jane in them, kind of a deal. Well, that's okay here in Canada, but we can't take them to Australia because it's not legal in Australia. So, and they have sniffer dogs there looking for food, looking for drugs, the whole bit.
Yeah, for some reason, people take a lot of food with them. Especially
I don't understand
Asian
that.
people. So, well, maybe it's stuff they can't get there. So I don't know.
Well, learn to enjoy the local cuisine. I don't know. Laura says, are you allowed to take meds on the plane? Yes, you can.
I always put my my prescription drugs in my carry-on. Because, and they tell you to too.
Yeah,
they also tell you to put all your electronics in your carry-on as well.
No, I have them all in my carry-on this time, except for my razor. That's going in the suitcase. But Andy says at Dallas Airport in Virginia. Is it Dallas or Duluth? How do you say that? Dulles. In Virginia. Wasn't that the horrible airport?
Dulles.
Is it Dallas?
I thought
Dulles?
we were at one in Washington that was called that.
Well, no, we weren't actually in Washington. We were probably in Virginia.
Maybe we were.
Yeah. You also get to pay for the privilege to drag your own suitcase to the scanner. Well, that's basically...
Yeah, I think what happened is we made the mistake of having a stopover in there.
Dulles. Yeah. Dulles is what Andy says Spence is.
Well, I know it's one in Washington that had a similar name. So
yeah.
Anyway, so
we weren't in Washington.
I don't know. I think it was Washington.
There's Washington D.C.
Okay, whatever. I don't know.
So what's on the border of Washington D.C.? Like Washington D.C., its own little state kind of a thing.
Well, okay. Well, anyway, we were in that airport, and
it was a horrible airport. That's all I remember.
What we have to do when we fly in from outside of the United States is you have to pick up your suitcase from one conveyor belt and put it on another conveyor belt. You actually have to handle it to go.
Yeah. So luckily, we don't have to worry about this time because we're flying from one civilized country to another civilized country when it comes to air transportation with it all. So, and we pay more to do that because we could have flown to what, LA?
To LA or San Francisco or something.
And it would have cost us what, a little less?
A couple $100.
Yeah, well, it's worth a couple of $100 more that we're paying not to have to go through the States. Sorry, Americans, but you know what I mean. I'm sure. Some of that.
Yeah.
So anyways, that part of the trip I am not looking forward to. So, and plus once we get there, we're usually bagged. So when you get there at 7 o'clock in the morning, what are you looking for?
I don't know. I'm looking for some place to put it.
Well, bend over.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So when we get there at 7 o'clock in the morning, then, that most times your room's not ready. Although a few times our room has been ready when we've gotten there early.
Yeah, sometimes.
But usually they will store your suitcase for you, and then you've got to go out and wander around. Well, at 7 o'clock in the morning, there's not a lot of things open. And you're tired. but that's the price you pay when you go on a trip like this, I guess.
Well,
So-
I don't have a whole lot of choice of what time to leave to go.
Well, no, we're
So-
at the whim of the airlines, so that kind of thing. Andy says Virginia and Maryland border DC. There are 3 airports in the area: Ronald Reagan, Dulles, and Baltimore, Washington.
Okay, so we went through that one, the Dulles one.
Yeah. Chris says usually 2 p.m.'s check-in over here. Yeah, that's the same here too.
Yeah,
usually.
and it's usually kind of down there. Well, is that Chris from?
From Brisbane.
Yeah, I think I have to look at my confirmation, but I think it was around 2 p.m.
Yeah, for most hotels
Yeah,
here in
most
North
hotels
America,
pretty much
so-
all around the world too. From
Yeah.
when we flew to Singapore, 3 p.m. was the check-in time.
Yeah.
They checked us in early.
Actually, I don't usually feel the crush until just about around early evening, like about 6 o'clock at night or something, and then you suddenly go, oh,
It also depends on how much sleep you actually get on the plane.
yeah.
I don't sleep well on the plane.
I don't either. I'm always half awake. and
I try.
doze.
I try, but I never.
Hi, Maggie. Maggie's here.
Able to get too much rest.
Maggie says, hi, guys. I'm jealous. Love Australia. Yep, so do we. That's why we're going back for our 3rd trip with this one. So I hear that the weather, though, has been quite nice. Warm-ish. Anyways. Well, warmish.
Well, it's got to be warmer than here. Well, actually, it's been warm here the last few days. It's been over 0.
Alexa, what's the temperature?
Right now, it's 1 degree.
Oh.
Tonight, expect a low of -6 degrees.
Okay, it's 1 degree.
Oh, it's balmy. It's 1 degree.
Yeah,
It's above freezing.
shorts weather.
Well, yeah, really. So, no problem. Okay, so anyways, I am doing a vlog tomorrow. And that'll be my last official vlog until we come back. But we are going to try, as I've said before, to do some videos. So all going to depend on internet connections, where we're staying and how fast they are and all that kind of stuff. So we may pop up for quickie lives, pop-up lives at any hour of the day.
Or if we find a place that has decent internet service, like, you know, we were in that wine place in Adelaide last year, and
Yeah.
that was before we were doing lives, I think. Or were we?
No,
doing
we were
lives?
still doing
Oh,
lives,
Okay.
but-
Well, anyway, we found a decent upload speed there.
Yeah, that was the place with the balcony. That little town, are you talking about? Because that place.
No. In Adelaide, when we went to that wine.
Oh,
place.
that wine center place. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
they had a great free Wi-Fi system there, so I was able
Yeah,
to
we
upload
drank
a
more
whole.
wine just to sit
Yeah,
there.
actually, I think we had 2 bottles of wine. Cheese. I think that was an expensive luncheon. We had the charcuterie. Andy says, I don't go to places where spiders can carry mice.
Well, we never saw any of those spiders. Now, we did see some very large bats.
Yeah, and ironically,
They were fruit bats, though.
and they were hanging out at the Gay Pride Parade last year when
Yeah,
we were at
they were
it, so I don't know.
Fruit bats.
Fruit bats, they were celebrating. I mean, there's irony in that, really.
Because we were
Lot of
sort of
humor,
looking
too.
overhead, it was beginning to get dusk, and we saw these great, big, huge things flying. And I said, those are bats.
Yeah. Like, we're no stranger to bats, as you know. You know, a lot of people, every time over here, and Chris, you can probably come in on this, everything, as soon as we say to people that have never been to Australia, the first thing that comes out of their mouth is, oh, there's all these poisonous snakes and spiders and things. Well, yeah.
We have them, too.
But we have them here, too. Maybe not as much abundance as Australia, but I said we never saw any of them because, I mean, we read a report that said in last year or something, there were only, or it might have been even longer than a year, only 2 deaths in Australia caused by venomous snakes. And in both cases, the reason these people got bit by the snake is because they were pursuing the snake. They were trying to catch it. And, you know, snakes don't want to be around humans any more than humans want to be around snakes. So don't go looking for trouble. Like, let the snake go where it wants to go. Plus, I don't know how many times you see snakes in a city, but we're staying in cities, okay? We're not hiking it through the outback.
We have a couple of tours that go out in
Well,
wilderness areas.
Yeah, but we're
it's-
not going to be trekking out there and looking under every rock for a venomous snake or spider.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But they also
you can get worried like that anywhere you go and never go anywhere. So
yeah. Well, the other thing too.
I mean, people live in Australia. It's not like
It's not a third world country.
They have like thousands of people die every year from their creatures.
Australia is in many ways reminds you of Canada. Well,
Minus the snow.
minus the snow. But I mean, just the way things work in Australia is not that unlike how things work here in Canada. And that's one of the advantages of going to Australia too, at least if you're Canadian, because our Canadian dollar is almost par
yeah.
with the Australian dollar. And what Australians do, and you've heard us talk about this before, is they include the tax in their prices, which I think is brilliant. Because when you go, it's at first there's a little bit of sticker shock, because I don't know what their percentage is for their sales tax or their taxes on things. But first time we went there and we saw like a menu and I went, whoa, $18 hamburger kind of a thing.
Well, you can get $18 hamburgers here too.
Yeah, I know. But you look at it and then you realize, well, wait, that's the final price. And it's the same with clothes or anything you buy. And actually, their prices on their food and on their clothing, if you include our tax that we pay in Ontario, it's about the same. There's, in fact,
maybe there's some things that are a little bit more expensive than ours, but it's not significant.
Well, okay, moose meat might be a little higher, but you know how I enjoy moose meat. Not, like, really. And you don't have to tip. Yeah, that's another thing, too. Oh, it's, Chris says it's 10% is their sales tax. Just backing up here. Ooh, we got a whole lot of things here. Chris says you should get good Wi-Fi at your hotels or go to a local McDonald's. Precy says we have rattlers in Valley Forge. Yeah, we have rattlers up here too. Not so much right where we live, but not that far away from us. You know, slightly north. And
we have wolves in the backyard.
We have wolves in the backyard. Here, puppy, puppy, puppy.
Skunks.
Oh, they're so cute. They say they make great house pets if you just scent them. And they can even, and you can train them to use kitty litter. Wouldn't a little skunk be cute? They're so cute. Julie says, please stop saying the S word. What's the S word? Oh, spiders? Or snakes? Probably not a fan.
Well, I'm not a fan of spiders either, but... And the ones we have here aren't usually very big. I gather there's some biggies in Australia.
Yeah, well, Chris says generally most Aussies have never seen the venomous spiders and snakes. Okay.
Yeah, see.
So, not too worried about that. I guess we won't see any, what were they, quokkas this time, because we're in the other side of it, and they only live on that one island, don't they?
Well, there's a couple scattered here and there too, but there aren't many around.
They're so cute. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, we don't worry about that too much. And not having to tip, that's kind of nice. You feel very strange about it at first, though, because we're so used to, in North America, for tipping things.
However, we did run into a situation last year where we did get table service, and then you complained, and the waitress disappeared.
Yeah, we were in Sydney at a restaurant we had been to before, a couple of times before. It was an Italian one. It was kind of a nice little restaurant. Well, it wasn't little. It was a huge restaurant. And, how do I put this gently? The bitch that was serving us, because that's what she was, we ordered the national food of Australia that night, did we not?
No, we that was Italian place. We had pasta and some.
Oh, I thought we had pizza.
No, I don't think so.
You don't get the humor.
Oh.
Like, I mean, every time we go to Australia, how much pizza do we eat?
I thought it was schnitzel.
Well, schnitzel too, but I mean, whatever. I'm making a funny joke. It's not their national food, okay?
All right.
Whatever. It's just always on every menu.
Nobody would know that.
Well, I have explained it before, and obviously you didn't listen, so... And I don't expect the audience to be any...
Well, no, anyway, so we had ordered wine, but she tried to upsell us on the wine.
She tried to sell us on the wine, for one thing. And first of all, I really hate it when waiters, waitresses, whatever, serving people... try to like do the used car salesman on you kind of a thing. And two, we had ordered a salad to start with each, and we had said very specifically, please bring the salad as a starter. And then when we're done that, we'll have the what we've ordered. She disappears. Suddenly, the salad comes, the pizza or the entrees come, bang, slapped down on the table by somebody else. She's nowhere to be found.
And they came really quick.
And it
just
came really
slammed it in.
quick. And we eat very fast. We always have. So we purposely will try to space that out a little bit so that we're not done like we were at McDonald's. This was not a McDonald's. This was not a fast food place and everything. Couldn't find her. But a couple of nights before that, we'd been in that restaurant and there was a young guy who waited on us and he was excellent. He just couldn't do too much for you and the whole bit. Well, I saw him over in another section. So I decided, no. I'm not, if I'm paying for the food, you're going to serve me the way I want to be served. I'm not working on your timeline because you're making money from me. That's my attitude towards restaurants. I do the same thing here at home. If we go to the Keg and we wait an hour for a table and then they seat us someplace where I don't want to be seated, I will say to them very nicely, I'm sorry, we don't want to sit here, but we would rather sit at blah, blah. We'll wait. We know you're busy. No problem. We'll go back in the bar and wait. It's funny how they come up with a table real quick, though, when I do that. But, so I found the young guy. I told him the problem. And he said, didn't even bat an eye. I said, I'll look after that. No problem. He came right over. He got the entrees out of our way, took them back to the kitchen. I assumed to sit under a heat lamp, but we think they actually redid them when we got them. And the whole bit. And we never saw her again. And finally, when the bill came, and you have to pay up at a counter area there, I saw the young guy again, and I slipped him a tip for it because, he went beyond, and I put a good word in for him as well. And I did complain about the other waitress, and apparently I got the attitude from, I guess, prime manager when I mentioned this other one. He says, which one? And I described her for him, and he went, oh, okay. So it sounded to me like maybe they had problems with her before. But this young guy, I commended him to the other, and I said, he is excellent. We've been here twice, and we've been dealing with him. And I said, he's an excellent waiter. So I hope he got the compliment back from his boss or whatever. Phyllis says, Steve, sometimes your sense of humor eludes us. No offense. It's okay. It's that kind of humor. I don't expect you to get it always. That's all right. Don't worry. Chris says, you're so funny, pizza, haha. Well, actually, I wasn't trying to be funny on that. Every place we went, they had pizza. And then we went to a wide variety of types of restaurants. And that's okay, because I love pizza. So I'm not complaining. And actually, the Australian pizza were all very good. I don't think we had one that was bad. No, they were all very good. Can't say the same here. Okay? Like if you go to Pizza here, which is a big chain, you pick up the slice, everything goes right off it. It just, I don't know what tomato sauce they're using or how they do it, but it's slick and it's rubbery and limp and the whole bit. There are some good places here for pizza, but really in Australia, their pizza are very, very good. Oh, hi, Cindy. So anyways, so what are we doing in Australia then? Let the people know, because I don't know. He makes all the plans. I just go along for the ride.
And all the details yet, because I thought, well, I'm going to read the book on the way down. So.
Oh, well, we've got some tours. Well, okay.
No, in Brisbane, we don't have a lot, but we're not there all that long, so we do a lot of walking. So.
Well, first of all, start with our itinerary of the places we're going to.
So we're going flying to Brisbane, so we're going to be there for about 4 days to start. Then we're getting a car, and we're going to drive down to the Gold Coast, and we're going to be there for 3 days. Then we're going to drive up from the Gold Coast to a place called Noosa Heads.
Noosa Heads?
Noosa Head or whatever. And we're staying there for a couple of days. But, of course, we're going to stop along the way and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Then we are driving down towards the airport. And we'll stop along the way and get to the airport, drop the car off again, and stay overnight next to the airport to fly to Cairns. So then in Cairns, the original plan was to stay 5 days in Cairns, but then our flights got screwed around. So we're staying 6 days in Cairns. We have 2 tours booked in Cairns right now, maybe possibly a third tour. We haven't decided yet, and depending on how bored we get in Cairns, and then we fly to Darwin, and we stay there 4 nights. It was supposed to be 5 nights, 5 nights in Cairns, 5 nights in Darwin, but like I said, our flights got screwed up. And then we fly back to Brisbane, and we're going to be in Brisbane another 2 nights before we fly home.
Yeah, so we're gone, what, 24 days
Yeah.
on this one? Little less than last time. Yeah, so that's our itinerary. Now, what are these things that you've already booked? What are we doing? What am I seeing? I don't know any of this stuff. He just surprises me. So what are we doing? What's our first excursion?
Well, our first excursion's in Cairns. Like we go to Green Island or something like that.
And
See
what's
the
it?
Barrier Reef.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And
Is that the one where we're going in that thing that's a semi-submersible?
Yeah, that's that. And we have
Little
a glass
panicky.
bottom boat tour or whatever. We don't snorkel, so we're not snorkeling. But Green Island, I guess, has
This head does not go underwater. I
some
like it.
things on Green Island. I don't know how much things, but we're spending a day there. So, and then later on in the week, we're going on this rainforest thing where it's a train down to this little town. I think it's called Kakadu or something like that.
Kakadu. Well, I think that's the one Chris was talking about, right?
And then we take a cable car back type of thing. So that's what we have definitely planned in Cairns right now. And
Now, Chris, you said the little town that train goes into or out of or whatever. You said that's kind of like boring.
yeah, I looked at it, and to me, it looks like it's not that exciting.
Oh.
So originally, I was reading a tour where it takes the cable car there, and then takes the train back. But it sounds to me like the train only runs periodically. So I think that once you're there, you're kind of stuck waiting to take the train back, type of thing. Whereas a cable car
Is this a
goes
continuous kind of thing?
continuously, type of thing, right?
okay.
So I think it's better to take the train down there. If you get bored down there, you can take the cable car back.
Okay.
And there's all these like optional things you can do down there as well. But I didn't take any of the options because I don't know. It depends on what we feel like when we're down there, type of thing.
This is going to be a little different kind of trip than the last 2 we did to Australia, because those ones were pretty much go, go, go all the time because, well, especially the last one. I mean, we were doing all the major cities: Melbourne, Adelaide, Perth, Sydney.
And then last year we drove from Melbourne to Adelaide. So I had specific stops along the way of things to see.
Like the wine area and things like that.
Whereas I don't really have anything specifically other than that. And when we go from the Gold Coast to Noosa Head, we're going to stop at the Australian Zoo
Yeah.
and go there. And
See kangaroos! Yay! I hope you can pet them there. I love petting kangaroos.
might try a couple of other scenic areas too.
Chris says, "Yep, that's right. Can escape that. You can escape that way
What?
from that place with the train and the
Yeah.
tram or the cable car, or whatever you call it."
Well, we travel quite a bit, so nothing excites us too much.
No.
So if we have a couple of days where it's like downtime, we're not doing a whole lot or something like that,
We'll just
that's
drink.
okay too, because it's time to maybe relax for
Yeah.
a day or 2 or so.
Yeah, as we get older, I'm not so much about the whirlwind. If it's Tuesday, I'm in Belgium kind of thing anymore. So,
Supposedly, the place that we're staying in Cairns, we have it's a 1-bedroom suite with supposedly a balcony. So whether we face the street or the inside, I don't know what we're doing. But I've tried to get most of the places we're staying are either one. They're all efficiency units pretty much, except for one night, and that have like a kitchen area and a washer and dryer. So
and that's why I'm only packing for 7 days, not for the whole time, because when I need clean undies, I can get clean undies. Usually we just take 2 pairs apiece, and you still get 2 weeks out of them because, you know, you wear them for 2 days one way, you wear them for another 2 days the other way, and then you switch. Then we trade and do the same thing
right.
again. Yeah, no, that's not happening. believe me. Or maybe just not wear any at all. I'm not doing that either. No. Chris says always great to get away, downtime and just relax. Yep.
Well, and it's a different place than what we're used to, and it's
It's not here.
warm.
Yeah, it's warm. Yay.
Yeah.
It's warm. It's warm. Okay, so then what are we seeing okay in Darwin?
Right now, we only have one tour booked. I was debating on getting a second tour, but I haven't booked it yet. So we might book that one on the fly, depending on what we're there. We're taking a tour to something called Litchfield National Park, which isn't that far from Darwin. And then there's another big park there, or a national park, but I'm iffy about booking there because it's like a 3-hour drive to get there.
Oh.
And I don't think there's much more there than forest and escarpment.
Oh,
so.
more trees?
Yeah, so
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if it's. I'm sure it's beautiful, and I'm sure it's worthwhile seeing. But we've seen a lot of things in the world.
Yeah.
So I'm not 100% sure if it'll be that inspiring for us. So
Tracy says bring back some bush spices. What are bush spices, Tracy? I don't know what those are. Last time we brought back some kangaroo jerky. That was gross. Yeah. In fact, I think we still have a package left, but there's a friend of mine who I gave him some and he loves it, so he wanted me to get some more when we went this time, and then I didn't.
Get him some crocodile jerky too.
Oh yeah, well, what they had emu, they had crocodile, they had kangaroo.
Oh yeah, Darwin has a lot of crocodiles, so.
Oh well, they're cute from a distance. Ticky. Tracy says wattle seed, lemon myrtle, bush tomato. Yeah, we can't bring back spices.
Actually, I think you can.
What, if you're dried?
Yeah, you can't bring back food though.
Well, spices are food.
Yeah, but you can't. Dried food, I think, is okay. It's fresh food. They can't. They don't let you to bring that.
Oh, well, okay. Yeah, we'll see. Chris's crock. It's like chicken.
Everything tastes like
Everything tastes like chicken. Reminds me of an old joke where a frog is eating its own leg and goes, "They're right. It does taste like chicken."
Actually, I had frog's legs in Paris one time.
Yes,
Remember?
you did. Yes,
And
they
it
were.
does. It tastes like chicken.
Yeah, but they were disgusting looking. They were sitting there on the plate, going, like ooh. Chris says wired texture though. So yeah, I would imagine it's probably kind of a little on the tough side. I mean, those crocs can live to be quite an age. So tough old
Depends if
crocs.
you get a young croc or old croc.
Yeah, whatever. Old croc. Weren't we with a bunch of old crocs last weekend? Tracy says she'll eat anything but goat items.
Goat items.
You know, like goat cheese, goat.
I'm not fond of goat cheese.
I'm not fond of goat.
Actually,
I've had
it. I've found out in something interesting. I think we talked about this a few. They have these slipper lobsters in off of Brisbane.
The bugs?
Yeah, they call them Moreton Bay bugs or whatever, and they look kind of like giant bugs, but they are a type of lobster. So I'd be interested if we run across those to try them.
I wish I hadn't seen that video you showed me when they were preparing it, because they look like slimy, gelatinous mess. And that didn't look appetizing. But if I didn't see that part of it, then I don't know. Chris, do bugs taste like lobster kind of thing? And Tracy says goats look muttony. It makes me gag to think of it.
Well, actually, there's something interesting. So when we went many, many years ago, we went on a tour of Europe. And I don't like lamb.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I don't like lamb, especially when it's gamey tasting.
Yeah.
And so Steve's mother served lamb just before we left, and I could just barely eat it.
I guess she's like that.
And so anyway, so we were on a tour then, and on tours they always have these optional dinners, and they charge an arm and leg for these dinners, right? And we were going to this dinner.
It was the French Riviera, and it was in a place called Ez.
Yeah, and we were going to a sheep farm. Was it a sheep farm?
A sheep farm.
Or lamb farm or whatever. Well, anyway, their specialty was roast leg of lamb.
Yeah.
Right? And I thought, and that was the main dinner. And I thought, oh crap, I don't like lamb. Anyway, so they had an optional dinner of fish which I'm not that crazy about fish
No,
either.
not like fish.
And the other alternative was spaghetti and meatballs.
Yeah, really.
And I thought, well, we were paying.
I think we paid about $60 a piece, didn't
Yeah,
we?
and that was in 1993. So
Yeah, so
$60
that was a
is
lot of money.
And I thought,
Hi, Carol.
you know, I'll just go with the lamb because if I can't eat it, I can't eat it or whatever. I'll just eat the vegetables and stuff like that. Well, it was excellent.
It was delicious.
It was delicious.
It was absolutely delicious.
And it wasn't really lamby at all. So it depends on what kind of cut of whatever you get.
Our lamb that we used to get in this country that they would serve was basically mutton, and it was gamey and tough and no good. But then they started to get in New Zealand spring lamb, and they've done things with the way they do sheep now, I guess, or lambs
Well,
here.
actually, I've had rack of lamb since, and
Yeah.
it's not too bad.
No, it's changed a lot in this country with the way that's served now. But
Still not my favorite meat, but it's...
no, I have to be in the mood for it. There was a point where any place that had rack of lamb, I would get. But you always pay a lot for it, and you're always afraid that if it doesn't taste, if it does taste gamey, you've spent a lot of money on something that you really don't enjoy. So I'm always careful about that. Chris says, our lamb is so good. I don't think we had any lamb when we were in Australia the last 2 times.
No, we should give
Did we?
that a
We
try.
probably should give it a try. Tracy says she made Swiss mac and cheese today. Okay, good for you. Actually, I love mac and cheese, and everybody's doing it gourmet these days, throwing all kinds of things in it that should never be in mac and cheese, but whatever. Priest says, Steve, when are you leaving for Oz? Tomorrow, Monday. Yeah. So, what else we were talking about in Australia that...
So that's what we've got planned right now, and then there's...
What do we got planned in Brisbane?
Well, I don't have anything planned in Brisbane.
Oh, good. More time to shop.
There's some places, we'll walk around a lot
Yeah.
in Brisbane, and I don't have any organized tours planned, but we get the car and we may stop in a few places around the outskirts of Brisbane. So
But when do we get the car? The last
The
day we're in
24th.
Brisbane? So the last day we're in
Yeah.
Brisbane, or when we're leaving
Yeah.
at that. Okay, because according to Chris, those quilt shops she put in how far they were. I've got it all here on the phone.
yeah,
so-
well, we can't check into the hotel. It was at Gold Coast, an hour and a half away from Brisbane.
Oh.
We can't check into the hotel until 2 or 3 in the afternoon anyway.
Yeah, we got tons
at
of
Gold
time.
Coast, so we got lots of time to drive somewhere else. And I'll have to get
Well-
used to driving on the other side again.
Carol, you'll just have to live through us vicariously. She says, wish I was going with you guys. I'd love to Australia. Yep. So anyways, that's our plans. And as I said, we'll try to keep you informed while we're there, but it's hit and miss what our setups might be like. Sometimes they're really good. Sometimes they're not so good.
Yeah, last year we had some trouble with some of the
Yeah.
places that we stayed and with their upload speed.
Yeah.
I think there was one place that we could do it the first night we stayed. We were able to get really good upload
Yeah.
speed. But then after that, it was sort of hit and miss.
Yeah. So we'll see. Cindy says, be safe on your trip. Have fun. Well, that's our plan, to have fun. Yep. Yep. Okay. So that's Australia. Let's move on. So, want to know what our mini Trump is doing this week here in the province of Ontario? Our beloved Doug Ford. He's screwing around with the education system again. He's going to increase class sizes, which we as teachers through our unions fought for years to get them reduced. And he's just going to, with a sweep of his hand, put them all up, especially the high school ones, from 22 to 28. And nobody ever usually has 22 in their high school class anyways. That's supposedly the cap, but there's a little bit of fudging that's done.
Whatever.
I mean, I remember when the a guidance counselor would come to me and go, "Oh, can I put this kid in your class because blah blah blah," and sing me a long story and whatnot. And yeah, what are you going to say? Yeah, sure, we're there for the kids. Yeah, but what happens with every extra kid you got in the class? That's less time you can spend with each kid too. And Laura, you would know all about that as well. But this is what he thinks is going to do it. He says no teachers are going to lose their jobs. Yeah, I don't know how that works.
Well, they're not going to hire any. Well, the idea is that people will leave through retirement. It's supposed
Yeah.
to happen over 4 years. But I don't know if it'll happen over 4 years. I don't know what are they going to do? Phase it in one kid at a time?
Yeah, I don't
Like-
know. They won't keep to anything that they're promising. We know this for sure. He's just screwing up our system in Ontario. He hasn't even been in for a year yet, and he's already just screwed us over in so many different areas.
But he's for the people.
Oh yeah, aren't they all? Let's make
That's
let's make Ontario get
His campaign promises were the party for the people. I don't know whose people.
I don't know, not our people, not his people. And if there's people, I hope the ones who voted for him are getting screwed in the ear. And I hope they realize they're getting screwed in the ear too, as well, for it, because they deserve it. Yeah, he's just an idiot. There's no two ways about it. But unfortunately, we had a lot of stupid people put him into power. So what can you do? Of course, I blame part of that on the outgoing government too, because the leader of the Liberal Party at the time, who was our premier, she sold everybody out because she just wanted to get out. Like, instead of saying, okay, I'm not going to stick around in this forever. So another election's coming up in a year's time. I think now I should start doing my transition to another leader for the party and build it up. No, instead she went to the bitter end. And now they don't even have official party status because she sold her party down the tubes. Bitch. So simple as that. You can't trust lesbians. I'm sorry. And she is. So, Chris says they will make it harder so some quit so they don't have to let people go. Yeah. Well, I'm glad that I'm retired now from the profession because it's nothing like it was when.
Well, not only
I
that,
first
they're
got
not
into
going to
it.
be hiring any new teachers. So
No, so I don't know. And there's
So
already
kids coming out of school aren't going to be getting, or it's already hard for them to get a job in the teaching profession, let alone now.
Well, as I've told other people when they say their son or daughter's going to university, want to be a teacher, and I look at them and go, why? Why do you want to be a teacher? It isn't an honorable profession anymore because it's not even treated as a profession. You're treated like dirt as a teacher from both parents, students, administration, and the government. You're abused and beaten all the time, verbally, even physically to a certain extent with it. Why be a teacher? If you're a smart person, I'm sure you could put your talents and your education in another field that's going to get you further ahead and have you a happy life. And don't give me the line that people go into teaching all for the children. Nobody goes into any bloody job solely because they don't want to think about themselves and their future, that they give it all to everybody else. No. Even Mother Teresa wasn't that much of a saint. So the reports are said now with it all. So no, like people who go into the doctor profession. No. They don't go into it to help the world out. They go into it because, one, it's a very secure job and it's a hard job, but they get paid, compensated for it. It's a hard job to be a teacher. You do not get compensated for it. Although the general public who are not into teaching and may have had bad experiences with teachers in the education system would say differently. But why did I become a teacher? I didn't become a teacher
Because
for
you were an
fame.
idiot.
Yeah, I was. No, I wasn't. At the time that I became a teacher, it was a totally different ballgame 30 some years ago.
Now you're talking like an old man.
Well, I am an old man, but you're older and you look it. So
I'm not older. You're
no,
older.
you just act it. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, you're an old fart.
Yeah, we were talking about that lunch I went with my colleagues a couple of days ago. They were, well, when I was young, we used to do this and that and the other thing. And I said, aren't you talking just like your parents?
Yeah, and then they all got out their walkers and went home. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, well,
When we were young, we used to walk to school. And
50 miles both ways,
Uphill.
uphill, in the snow, in July. Yeah, okay, whatever. So anyways, yeah, Ford is screwing us around. So, what's eating Walter this week? Oh, he just came home. I wish I'd had it on video because he was
Oh, I
very
was mad today.
animated. Oh, tell them.
I was mad. Anyway,
Now, there's a disclaimer to this. He is not suggesting that all older people are morons. I'm just saying, okay?
okay, so I wanted to get something to take with me on the trip and went to a drugstore, local drugstore here. It's a chain. It's called Shoppers Drug Mart. It's sort of like, what do they have in the States? Like a
Well, Walgreens
Walgreens or something.
States and
Well, anyway, so they had two cashiers open. So I got in the line of three people in one cashier, and the guy at the front, which was significantly older than me, was buying lottery tickets. And the cashier has lottery tickets at her till. For one thing, I'm blaming more the store than necessarily the person buying stuff. But it's the store has these lottery tickets at their tills, right? So anyway, so this older gentleman, very much older gentleman, was buying hundreds of dollars worth of lottery tickets.
hundreds of dollars.
Yes.
Now you're not exaggerating.
I'm not, maybe I'm exaggerating, but he had a lot. He was buying a lot. So maybe $100 worth. But he had all these things for a draw, right? Like tons of them. And she was running it through her machine. And then every time it ran it through her machine and he got a winner, it plays a little tune. And then he just like giggles, right? And but then there's all this, like, this girl had all these like receipts and all this other stuff that she was putting through. And it was taking a lot of time just standing there. And the guy ahead of me was getting ticked off. And so he ended up going to one of the self-serve kiosks, right, that they had there. But they have three, only two are working. And so then.
Sort of like the cashiers.
Yeah, so
They have
then
three,
I
but only
finally
two are
got
working.
fed up, and I noticed the line next to me was moving a little faster. So I got in that line. And there were two Asian ladies there who had two gigantic carts full of pop, because the store had pop on sale, or soda, or whatever you want to call it. And they no doubt want lots of soda for whatever reason. And so
They own a convenience store.
probably own a convenience
Ooh,
store.
that's
or
a stereotype.
Anyway, that's my guess anyhow. But so they're ringing through all this pop, and then on top of that, she has all these drug items that she's buying. So I thought, oh, this isn't any better. So I go back to the original line, and meanwhile, another older gentleman gets in front of me, right? And so the guy with the lottery tickets finally finishes, right?
And just to let you know, when he uses the word gentleman, what he really said to me was old fart. Just saying.
So anyway, and he was all happy, and then on top of that, after he gets all his electronic tickets done, he also has to buy scratch and win tickets. So he buys a whole pile of those, right? A bunch of them.
Was he scratching them at the same time?
No, he wasn't.
Oh, well,
But
it
he
could have
was
been worse
saving
then.
it.
'Cause I've
Anyway,
seen them do that. They buy them immediately, and what are those called? Those.
So then the
whatever.
other guy ahead of
Kilograms or
me
something.
has only about 3 items. And so she asks the guy, are you paying, or they have a loyalty card. So he brought out the loyalty card. And then she asks him, are you paying by card or by cash? And he goes, huh? And she goes, by card or by cash? And he went, huh? And she asked him about 5 times. She goes, well, I'm asking you if you're going to pay by debit card or by credit card or with cash. Oh, he says debit card. Okay, so then she proceeds to ring him through and asks if he wants a bag or whatever, blah, blah, and all this sort of stuff. So this is taking time. And then she stands and asks him for the money, right? It's, I don't know, $13 or something like that. And he looks at her and just stands there, and she says that's 13, blah, blah.
Maybe it's hard of hearing.
He just stands there and he's looking.
That'll be $13,
And then he goes, oh, I want to use $10 in points. So she rings in the $10 points. It's $3 and something. And she says, okay. So she says, that'll be $3 and something. So She's expecting him to pay by card. Well, he's not paying by card. Now he starts reaching into his pocket
here we
and
go.
he's fumbling for change and he's not finding any change. So then he pulls out his wallet and he pulls out a five, or no, it was five something. He pulls out a five and then she says, well, that's still 560 or something. So then he starts rumbling around in his pocket and he pulls out a whole pile of coin and sticks it on the counter. And she counts her 60 cents in, right?
Okay, well, the old man pocket syndrome is the same as the lady's purse, where they go through and go, I know I've got a nickel in here. And it's usually stuck to the cert or the Kleenex. But so that's the old man version
So
of that.
I finally get up there 15 minutes later to the cash register. And I got checked out really quick. I was making no bones. I was getting out of there quick. But like, it was just tedious. Oh my God, I could not believe it.
Yeah, I know. But the hard part about that is I've been in the same situation, and it's an older person, and you bite your tongue because you don't know what you're going to be like in another 10 years' time either. You could be the old guy standing up there looking in his pocket for 60 cents or whatever, buying your lottery tickets. Well, you won't, because and I don't buy lottery tickets because I'm too cheap. But actually what pisses me off though too, and you mentioned it about there, is those stupid kiosks, which Walmart, I don't know how they're doing in the States with this, but in Canada, the Walmarts up here have eliminated a lot of their cashiers in favor of like these huge areas of those kiosks. But what pisses me off,
They're self-serve.
yeah, self-serve. You know, you scan your own stuff, you throw it in the bag, and then but what gets me pissed off about the ones up here is they don't take cash. You have to use a debit card or a credit card. I sometimes want to use cash, especially if I'm buying something that's like under 10 bucks. I don't want to use my debit card for that. If I've got the money in my pocket, I want to pay cash. But you can't at those. But if you go to the other checkouts, which they've all reduced, there's 3,000 people in the lineup because Walmart's also have a food part in it. So these people have got every kumquat, piece of squash, and
of course,
12 million
trying
green peppers.
to go through if you've got a full cart full of groceries, it's next to impossible to scan all that stuff
Yeah.
yourself.
So, and then half the time, kiosks hate me. I go up to them and they go, no. Computer says no. No. What? I'm scanning it. No, not working. And then one of their little attendants comes over and then they have to go.
Well, one thing that's annoying is that you have to, when you scan the stuff, you have to put it on the on where the bag is, and I guess it weighs it or indicates that you've purchased something in it, and it has weight, so you've added it to the bag. But if you buy something that's really, really light,
yeah, it doesn't
and you put
register
it in the bag, it doesn't register, and it says, "Please put your item in the bag. Please put your item in the bag."
Like the last time I bought a pound of feathers. So
no,
how
you
much?
bought that needle.
Being funny here, you just cut it off, right off. Like, how much does a pound of feathers weigh?
A pound.
Right, exactly. Okay, move on.
You bought that
Yeah.
needle threader.
Oh, yeah.
A needle
Well, it
threader
weighs nothing. It was
so-
plastic. Yeah. But Chris says, oh, by the way, guys, you have to now pay for shopping bags or bring your own when you shop at grocery stores here now. We know that.
We do it here,
and we do
too.
it here too. It's the same for us here. So, yep, that's nothing new to us. So, but thanks for the advisement. Yeah, well, these checkouts anymore, though, eventually they're just going to get rid of cashiers, period. It's all going to be kiosks to start with. And it's a way, Walmart does it especially because it is a way that they can save money. They don't have to hire as many people. And we know how Walmart keeps their everyday low value prices. That's how they do it.
Well, actually, if you work for Walmart, they don't even give their employees a discount.
No,
Not here anyway.
because everything is like rock bottom cheap prices, which isn't really
And
true.
my nephew's wife used to work at Walmart head office, and I said, "So you get a discount at Walmart stores?" And she goes, "Everyday low prices."
Yeah, everyday low prices bite me hard with it. Problem is, we were saying the other day, there are no stores left in our area except high-end stores, which where we live, this is not a white-collar neighborhood. It's a blue-collar world out here. And people don't buy designer fashion. Well, the
Well,
kids
I was
do.
in a store, the Hudson's Bay Company. I was waiting to go for lunch with my colleagues, and I was just looking around the menswear department. First of all, their stock wasn't all that good, but they have a lot of designer clothes in there and expensive clothes. But the problem there is everything is slim fit. It's slim fit. It's not classic fit. It's all slim fit.
I have a closet of slim fit jeans. Yeah. No, they're slim fit now because they were classic fit at one time, but even those don't fit me now.
So anyway, I can't buy a shirt in there, no matter how much it costs, and the stuff is expensive.
Yeah.
In there, but I don't know who.
Like $100 for a
I'm
shirt.
not sure who they're selling this stuff to, because the average person that lives in this area cannot afford that kind of
Well,
stuff.
one, the average person is not slim fit unless you're under the age of 24 and you're like a kid, basically. Two, those kids can't afford those clothes, but maybe they have a lot of debt because most of them don't have that great of jobs or even are just in entry level. So how do they afford it? But the stores are all going out of business. And they keep blaming it on things like Amazon. Well, no, if I can get what I want from Amazon, if I can get it at a reasonable price, and if I can get it in 2 days, or less than sometimes than that, then no brainer.
But I mean, for clothes, I'd like to see what I'm getting.
Well,
and
yeah,
stuff like
but
that.
there are sites now that are supposedly well, I know for women's clothes. I don't know how it works with men's clothes, but still, the ones that I've seen on YouTube, they send back half the stuff they get because they don't fit right.
Well, see, that's the other thing is with one thing about mail order is I don't really like having to send stuff back.
No. But so there you go. So where do you have what's left? Where do you shop up here? Well, Walmart. That's about it. And so what can you do?
Walmart up here anyway sucks for clothes, so
Oh, the quality is just horrible.
horrible.
Just, I mean, you wear it once, throw it away because it'll be full of holes before the day is done. With that, Phyllis says, hey guys, if you have Prime, be sure to watch What They Had or something like that. Oh my God, so good. A very common problem with people that have elderly parents. Okay, a lot of stuff happening in here. We do have, and so good, and very common problem with people that have elderly parents. I'm a little confused. Phyllis, I'm not sure where we're going. Can you clarify for me what we're talking about here? Because, sorry, I'm a little dense. Well, no, I'm not. I'm an English teacher. I can read sentences. You suck when you write, okay? What can I say? I mean that in the nicest way, Phyllis. I really do, because I know how you'll get upset with me, and I don't want to stir up the pot with Phyllis. She's let me have it a few times, okay? I'm saying that very nicely, Phyllis. Tracy says, I live near the largest mall in the USA until next year is thriving in spite of Amazon. Well, you know, every time we go down to the States, which hasn't been a lot lately for obvious reasons, but we go to the big malls and you can shoot a cannon down them. I mean, they're nice malls, but the ones we've been in, it doesn't never see. I say to Walter, well, how do they keep their stores open? There's nobody here. Maybe they come out at night. I don't know what they do. But shopping is just...
Well, one thing is, one
Not
problem
good.
with shopping malls, for men anyway, is 90% of the stores cater to women.
Yeah, 90% of the stores cater to the women, and the ones that do cater to men that are a lot younger than us. In fact, to the point where you walk in the store and they look at you and go, hey, old fart, what are you doing in here? We've got nothing for you. Mm-hmm. And when you do try to find clothes for men, our age, you might as well just hand us a box. It depends, because that's what the whole thing looks like. It's like, okay, we're older, we're not dead.
I mean, I saw a shirt I really liked in the Bay the other day, but it was a slim fit, and it was like $100. So,
okay, Phyllis, I'm really not sure where this is going. Parents with dementia, health problems. One brother carrying the load before asking sister for help. Okay, I'm living there. I get that. And Tracy says, I admit to watching Tobro on A&E. Don't know what that is. Fill us in, Precy. I'm not sure what Tobro is. Is this something we should be watching?
anyway, yeah, like Shoppers Drug Mart should actually have a separate area for buying lottery tickets.
Yeah, but you know, then there'd have to be somebody there
Yeah,
waiting
well,
on it. And
that's true.
people aren't always buying. Like,
Actually, they've already had a bad week this week because there's been big complaints that there haven't been people at the cash registers.
Hi, Jetty.
That they've only had
Or Yeti.
the kiosks available.
Oh, yeah, well. Whatever. Well, okay. Well, I'm going to talk about this on my vlog tomorrow, but I'll give you a little hint on what I PO'd at this week. It has to do with prescription drugs and labeling. That's all I'm going to say. I had a little event, but I'm just going to leave it. You have to watch the vlog tomorrow to find out what that's all about. So anyways, moving on, and we're talking about shows. So we just finished on Netflix, Russian Doll. I don't know if anybody on here was mentioning that last week. I think it came up. But it's a bizarre little thing where this woman keeps dying and keeps coming back and having to try and correct it so she doesn't die. Actually, it's really good, but I think they've only have one season. It's like a mini series because the way it ended is definitely a finish. They can't go on beyond that, but it's really...
well, unless they have like another set of stories or whatever. But actually, it's really good.
Yeah, it was good.
I watched the first episode and it wasn't 100%.
You got to watch a couple of episodes to get into
by
it.
the time I got to the second episode really made it for me.
Yeah. And, Tobro is a podiatrist or chiropod, I can't say it. Who does, or chiropodist, that's it, who does foot surgery on TV.
Ooh.
I don't want to watch that.
Especially, I could use foot surgery, but anyway.
Well, you used to watch a lot of surgery things on YouTube and on there all the time.
Yeah, I know. I used to watch
gross
open
me
heart
out.
surgery and shit like that.
I don't like watching that kind of stuff. Although I have to say, what's her name, the pimple popper? Those ones I get
What's
fascinated.
really gross is breast augmentation.
Oh.
They still take the nipple off and sew it back on.
Oh, what do they do? Put it in a zipper? No, what? Oh, I don't need breast augmentation. I'm growing my own these days. Well, if I'm an A cup, you're C.
Yeah.
So whatever. And another show, which is really bizarre, but really fascinating. We just blitzed it last night. I think there was like something like 18 episodes.
And they're all short.
They're like 15 minutes long. It's called Love, Death, and Robots. It's a whole series of primarily animated, but animated in computer graphic kind of format.
And some are sort of cartoon.
Is that really a person or is that computer generated? Be prepared for foul language, nudity, and a lot of violence in it. But it's really quite fascinating.
Especially episode 17, which is Hitler. And Hitler dies by death.
Yes.
Hitler...
What would happen
What if you could go back in time and Hitler dies and they had 6 scenarios and 6 scenarios of how he passed away. And then it tells you all the ramifications of
how history would change.
And how history would change, right? So one of the ones is he dies by having too much.
He's hooked up with some 3 hookers who are doing things to his body that you can only imagine, and well, let's just say he dies with a smile on his face. Okay, yeah. There was a happy ending.
It was interesting.
Yeah, actually, it's kind of, it grows on you. Like,
it's kind of a very different kind of show.
And I'm not a big fan of animation or that kind of thing, but these ones were pretty good for the most part.
You have to be prepared that some of them are very violent.
Yes.
Some of them are bloody. There's a lot of profanity in it.
And
there is some nudity and sexual content.
Yeah, it's not for children. Okay.
It's an adult.
I think they should have had a waiver 60 plus. Okay. On it. We haven't been to a show in a while.
No.
And
I looked the other week at what was playing at the show, and none of them really interested me.
But you said on the plane they've got a lot of...
We've got a lot of shows that we haven't seen yet. Like, I think there's the new Mary Poppins movie, and there's that...
Don't they have the, what's her name, Captain America? Captain Marvel.
No, I didn't see that one, but I saw the one that's the one that has... Well, I can't remember the name of it now. The one that has the guy that turns into some sort of a beast with lots of teeth.
A werewolf?
No, I don't know.
Dracula?
I can't remember what it's called now.
Just ugly?
I think that Kodiak said that was
Oh, Venom.
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 Yeah.
Yeah, he said it sucked.
Anyway, and then there's a whole bunch of other ones. I can't really think of what they are, but there were a whole bunch of other
Oh,
ones.
they got that one that's...
They had like the green card one or whatever, or the green something that was on the Academy Awards. The guy that was about the black guy that was being chauffeured around by a white guy.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what it's called.
There's a few Academy Award, or was it the one with Lady Gaga?
Oh, yeah, Star is Born. I have no real interest in that
I'm
one.
kind of
I
interested
don't
in
know.
seeing it.
I mean, they just every other decade they redo the Star is Born.
They have Fantastic Beasts and
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. They've got the sequel to Fantastic Beasts. That one I'm interested in. Green Book, Catherine says. It's
Yeah.
called Green Book. Chris says the Green Book. That is so good. Give the Star is Born a miss, she says. Yeah, well, I like Lady Gaga. I like Bradley Cooper.
I saw,
But
when I was a teenager, I worked in the movie theater as an usher, and I saw The Star is Born with Barbara Streisand about 60 times. It was okay. The music was good and everything, but it wasn't a great movie, I thought.
yeah, well, I don't know, but it's been around 100 years because it was
Yeah, it
done
was
way back
originally-
in the 40s or something. Didn't Judy
It
Garland?
was Judy Garland.
Yeah, Judy Garland did it. Then Barbara Streisand did it.
Yeah.
And now Lady Gaga. Like I said, every 2 or 3 decades they redo
It was
it.
Barbara Streisand and Chris Christopherson. That was in the one in the 70s or whatever.
Chris says they both do a great acting job. The movie's just missing something. But Catherine says Green Book is excellent. It's a true story. So, well, which one is the one that they did on one of the vice presidents of the United States? What do they call that? I
What?
can't remember. Well, it was what's his name? Not so long ago. I can't even think of which vice president it was. And they took one actor, and you would never know that that actor was doing it because of the way they made him up and the whole bit.
I don't know.
And I can't remember what it's called. That looks kind of like it might be interesting too.
Oh, that one with jeez, about jeez, I can't remember what it was. The I can't remember the actress. She does the one where she forges stuff.
Oh, Forges stuff. Oh, I thought you were calling it that one, The Favorite.
No. The one that she's a famous writer and she forges.
Oh, she's famous. Oh, Agatha Christie?
No.
Oh. No, that's a different thing.
her
That was
name.
on Netflix.
She's a comedian, but jeez.
I have no idea
I'm
what you're
having a
talking
terrible
about.
time.
Yeah, I don't. Well, that's what happens with your mind goes, old man.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. Catherine said, Cheney. Virginia says the one that's about Cheney. Yeah. And Catherine says Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah, Miss Melissa McCarthy, and she's in there and
Oh, yeah. And okay. I know what you're talking about now. That one's not really a comedy, though, is it?
No, it
It's
isn't,
kind
but
of,
actually it's
you always
kinda
associate
interesting.
her with comedies, but she's breaking out into other modes, so you're looking it up now. Well, whatever. I'm sure on the flights, we'll have lots of time to watch a lot of movies. I think I watched 4 movies in a row the last time we went over.
Can You Ever Forgive Me? That's it.
Oh, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and Catherine says it's a true story. So, okay, that makes it interesting. So, on YouTube.
It's about Lee Israel.
Okay, means nothing to me.
Lee Israel.
Yeah.
She was that name sounds familiar.
Yeah, well, there's a place called Israel, and lots of Leahs. So I don't know.
Yeah, she did a lot of like Katharine Hepburn. She did a lot of what do you call it? She wrote books on Katharine Hepburn and Tallulah Bankhead and
Oh, okay.
Estee Lauder and stuff like that. And then her books started going downhill, and so she did something else.
Oh, okay, fine. Whatever. So, what was I going to say? Oh, on YouTube. Okay. Over the last couple of days, I've found these ones where people are trying to scam the scammer, Revolt or something. And this guy actually, these are the ones that call you up and say that there's they've detected a problem on your computer. They're from Microsoft. They're not. They're from India or Nigeria, someplace like that. Hello, I've found a mistake on your computer, and the goat says that it is not very good. Our goats are very clever, yeah. Yeah, that's Swedish. Where's Mel? She hasn't been on here for a while. So they scam the scammer. And I guess, they try to get you, the scammer tries to get you to log into something where they can take over your computer. And then they wipe out all your files and hold you at ransom and say you got to pay them $500 if you want your files back. Well, there's this one guy, this scammer Revolt or whatever. He's pretty knowledgeable about computers, and he creates something called a virtual machine, which, from what Walter tells me, I've heard of this before, but and I sort of
it's basically your computer is.
You won't explain this well.
If you buy a computer, your computer is actually contained. How is that?
Yeah,
it's actually memory.
Well,
right? That's all it is, and so your operating system works on the memory and all this other stuff. So anyway, what he does is he replicates his computer onto a space, like it's in the cloud or something like that, and he has a fake little computer that he uses, right?
It's a dumb terminal.
Yeah,
basically what they used to call dumb terminals way back in the 80s. Well, I thought, okay, so it's not that, but you didn't explain it very well. Wow. Anyways, it's fake. Okay, this guy has what this other guy, the scammer's trying to connect into. He thinks it's legit screens that he is seeing. It is not. So he can do whatever he wants to that. It will not damage the guy's computer because it's fake. But what this guy does is he keeps them talking on the line, and he goes in using a program called Team Remote or something like that, which basically allows two computers to talk to each other over the internet, and you can take control of the other computer. It's used in businesses. TeamViewer. No, is it TeamViewer? Something like that. Whatever. What he does is he gets the guy talking, and meanwhile he's connecting through the TeamViewer, and he's throwing it back at him, and he's wiping out the other guy's files, the scammer's files. And these scammers get so pissed off with him, and they're using language that is, this is just definitely 18 and over kind of stuff that's on it. But you know what I like about them? Is it's cathartic. I wish I had the knowledge to be able to do something like that, but I don't, and I'm not going to bother because I would probably screw it up. But it's like, yeah, finally, haven't we always wanted to give it back to the scammers? And that's what this guy does. So if you just watch it, it's cathartic for you. Because if you
the only thing I have is that being in the computer industry and stuff like that, is I'm not sure if you connect through that program where you take over another person's computer, whether you can actually go backwards and
well, what the one at the end is doing is he's not got it set so his computer cannot be. It's obviously somebody who's just new in it and doesn't know this. That's what he's putting up there.
Yeah, well, probably.
Because yes, you can. Because I used TeamViewer at one point in time, and yes, you can block it so that the person on the other end can't get into your files.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah.
Or you can make it mutual. But when they first log on, if they don't click the button for that, and he distracts them. That's what he's doing. Okay. He's distracting them, and it's probably somebody who hasn't been doing this for very long.
Well, not only that, they also prey on people that don't know much about computers.
Yeah.
The scammers do.
Tracy says, scamming a scammer, I know the one, he's fabulous. The YouTuber name's Soulfern. Actually, the one that I was watching, there's a bunch of them out there, is one called Scammer Revolt. But there's lots of them out there. And in fact, we watched one the other night too. There's the ones with the calls. You know how you get the calls, duct cleaning, or that your credit card has been compromised or whatever. Well, this one woman, she's a voice actress, like a voiceover actress. And so she gets them online, and it was for eBay or something. And she sounds like, she kind of throws it back on them and confuses them as if she's on eBay. But she sounds like one of those recordings where your call is important to us, but due to larger than usual volume, we will be with you soon. We've put your call in order, so please stay on the line.
And she sounds just
like... And she sounds like it. And they say, your amount is $200. If this is correct, please press 1 for yes, 2 for no. She sounds just like one of those recordings. I'm not doing it well. But yeah, it's cathartic because we've all been, subject to this kind of crap. lately I've been getting so many on my email. Like today I got one for Canadian Tire, or as we call it up here in Canada, Crappy Tire. You don't have them in the States or anywhere else in the world. They have a card and it says, oh, you need to activate your card. I don't have a Canadian Tire credit card. He does. I don't. So I try to figure out what their address is. But you see, when they send those out to you, they have a program that creates random email addresses. So I try to put them in so they're blocked or filtered out. Well, that's not very successful.
Well, then we got these ones where, because there's a lot of people traveling at this time of year, where they phone you up and say, thank you for choosing Air Canada, or thank you for choosing WestJet, and which are two major airlines in Canada. And they go, well, we don't let them get further, but it's all a scam to...
Yeah. But they're getting really good. These ones that, you know, as soon as you pick it up and they go, hello, we're calling about your duct cleaning. Well, now what they're doing is they have a recording that comes on. And it's usually a woman's voice, and it's usually a woman who speaks perfect English. So there's no accent. So that throws you off at first. And then you get ones, I love these ones, because they really need to have someone analyze the English language. Because they come up and go, this is like whatever credit card company. There has been, your credit card has been compromised. This is security for such and such, Visa or something like that. Your security has been compromised. If you have made, it shows on your card that you have made a purchase for $300 on Amazon, and you've also made an international purchase for $3,000. If you did not make these purchases, please press 1. Well, I did that one day. I knew it was a scam. I just wanted to see what I'd hear. So I get the accent person. And the thing was, they're going, well, why are you calling? I got a call saying that my credit card has been compromised. Oh, okay. I just have to ask you a few security questions, please. Well, your card number? Bye-bye.
No, you should be able to tell me my card number.
Yes, well, yeah, I've done that too. And then they hang up on me. But then there's these ones that tell you that there's a security problem, and then it goes, congratulations on your record with your credit card. We have a special offer for... Wait, you just told me there's a problem. Now you're telling me I've got excellent credit rating. Either way, I hang up. It's as simple as that. I mean,
it really begins to bother you with the number. And the thing is that they do catch some people into believing this.
Yeah.
And that's what they're preying on. And it's awful if these people get nailed with something.
And they feed on the elderly and the stupid, basically. Yeah. You know, they have these ones for the CRA, which is our tax, our federal tax.
Yeah, we're CRA in the United States, the IRS. And they call you and try and scare you into the fact that you've made a mistake on your income tax and that you owe them lots.
Yeah. But then the kicker should be when they tell you how to pay it. If you say, oh, you owe us $5,217.55. Okay, first clue right there. They make it sound legit by giving you this bizarre number, but they don't say you owe us $5,000. It's not a round number. They give you like $5,217.96. Okay, so you think, oh, geez, okay, they've got this figured out. That's the first level. But then they tell you to pay it back. You have to go to a Walmart or a convenience store and pay them back in iTunes cards or in Walmart gift certificates or like this. Since when does the government accept gift cards? Shouldn't that be a clue? Really?
And then people still do it, though.
Yeah, I know.
But, you know, I think what it is some people cheat a little bit on their taxes or whatever. I mean, everybody tries to get the most out of it that they can. And people that may not know what they're doing exactly or something like that suddenly get guilted.
Well, they tell you, we've got a warrant out for your arrest. I had one of those one time. Warrant out for your arrest. This is officer such and such because you need to call this number. So I called the number. I knew it was a scam, but if I'm in the right mood. So I called the number. And this is Detective such and such, and yes, and why are you calling? Well, you should know. I got a call, something about my taxes. Oh, yes. Just let me look up what's your name? And I'll say Fred Jones. Make it up. Oh, yes, Mr. Jones, you owe the CRA. And then they give me a number. And I went, oh, well, I didn't know about that. And then they start on the thing. Well, we have a warrant for your arrest. The officers have been dispatched, but if in the next 5 minutes we can stop that, and then they give these gift card things. And I go, yeah, right. I think I told one before, hello, you've called Detective Fred Jones, and while you've been talking, I've been tracing your call. So our police force is on their way now through Interpol to your location, because you know they're not in this country, and then they hang up on me. But I like these ones on here better because they spend more time with them and it just makes me feel better. Tracy says she never answers her house phone. Oh, Catherine says, respond by asking them what they're wearing.
What's the point of having a house phone?
No, I like this one. Catherine says, respond by asking them what they're wearing. Hi. So we go, oh, I'm so upset. Oh, I'll have to look after that. But can I just ask you one question? What are you wearing? Yeah. You got long pants on or shorts? Ooh. I could have a lot of fun with that one. I'll have to try that one, Catherine. Thanks for the suggestion. Okay, so I guess that's about it, people. We're at our time. And so, next time you see us, maybe, if we're all lucky, well, if we're lucky with our internet connection, we may be doing something from Australia. So I hope everybody has, happy St. Patrick's Day for those who celebrate it. I mean, it's just a drunk, isn't it? Really? They don't celebrate it in Ireland. Why do we celebrate it here?
I wonder if we figure out what the 4 o'clock is on.
The what?
4 o'clock in Australia. Like, if we're 4 o'clock in Australia.
Oh, we won't be coming on at our regular time because we'll be so screwed up on time. We may be in the middle of the night for North America. But for those of you in Australia, well, bonus. Okay, on that one. So anyways, have a good week. We'll see you sometime soon. I will do my vlog tomorrow. And yep. So, and Aussies, watch out because we're coming. So bye, everybody.